Hi guys, welcome to Interior Insights. I'm Jane and we are standing in Malmö in Sweden, and today we're going to look at one of my absolute all-time favorite apartments we've ever seen. It's a Scandinavian mid-century design. And if you like Scandinavian architecture and mid-century designer icons, you will love this video. Let's go inside. This apartment spans around 95 square meters and it is nestled right within the heart of Malmö, a city in Sweden that is very international, but at the same is home to this very Scandinavian and authentic design. The owner of this apartment actually is an artist who makes his own art. We've also linked his website in the description if you're interested. Also, if you want to help me in the channel, the easiest way you can do so is just by subscribing to the channel so we can continue to show great design and make it stand out and just leave all the bad design behind. So we are already standing in the living room, the heart of the home, and also here the heart of mid-century and Scandinavian design. And as soon as you walk in, you can just really get lost in every single detail and every single wall because it's just been perfectly curated. What is so unique about the space is that the items were really accumulated and found within maybe 10 years, so within really a long time period. So each item is unique and has its own story where it came from. Hi guys, quick update. So the waitlist for the color course is now open and we will launch on November 1st, so in 17 days. So if you're not signed up on the waitlist, go sign up now because you get early launch, better price, and a launch bonus, and you'll be the first one to know. So the link's in the description. This building was built around the 1920s, so it just has this very authentic Swedish flair. The color palette is held in a lot of neutrals, so there's beiges, browns, and soft cream colors. But then again, you have these accents of different types of green, and it just ties the whole entire design together. What I love about the space is that you have all of these different geometries that just make the space feel really deeply layered. We have a gorgeous cat that is big and fluffy who just jumped down next to me. He's very sweet. You can see that the approach to design was really to work with what you have. So the natural structure of this apartment is that we have an arch over here and then again an open doorway with sliding doors on the other side. And this arch over here was really used to create kind of an entry area where we have a sideboard standing with the Snoopy Lamp by Flo's, one of my favorites, which we've already seen in a few videos. And also, of course, the Stoffnagel candle holder. And you can see that the length of the sideboard has been really underlined yet again with this very horizontal lying mirror. So you just have this very long and angular design. And then through the arch, we get into the living room. So we have a white and square sofa that has a lot of different blankets and furs and pillows layered on top of each other. So it just creates this very in-depth and cozy design. A goal of the designer was also to really create a place that feels very comfortable and cozy, that just fully takes you in, because the winter in Sweden is always very long and quite dark. So you really need a calm and warm place to come home to. In this living room, we have a lot of different materials. So apart from all of the texture that we have that just creates this very cozy ambience, we also have a lot of wood that has been placed throughout the room. So for example, on this wall, we have two wooden panelings that go up until the wall and just give the room this kind of repetitive structure. And then again, on the other side, the wooden paneling is again mirrored with two cupboards where a lot of art and books and sculptures are standing in. So you can just really get lost in every single detail. And one design approach that I really like in this living room is that we have all of these columns standing around. For example, over here, and on top of them you have little artworks or little vases placed. And it's a very simple thing to do, but I feel like people usually don't really do it. And even in the vases, you just have dried branches, but it just creates this very aesthetic and curated feeling throughout the apartment. Another thing that I love is that the abstract waves on the carpet are just repeated again with the 2 round sofa tables that are standing on them. So it almost seems like the lines of the carpet just perfectly are hugging the lines of the table. I don't know if this was a coincidence or not, but it's just a very cool little detail. Also, when it comes to design, often a big issue is how to curate a corner, because it often just ends up being kind of a dead space that people don't actually use. But here the different corners are either filled with shelves, or like here behind me, you have a green mid-century chair that is standing in the corner, and you just have this small reading area. And suddenly an empty space turns into a designated function. So through a narrow hallway, we get both to the bathroom and the kitchen, and you can see that the hallway itself is kept very minimalist and is accentuated through this bold black and white graphic carpet that just adds some tension to the place. And you can really see the owner's love for design and creating unique compositions, really just paying attention to every single detail, because over here in the hallway we have a small thoughtful composition. There are some books. There is the Snoopy Lamp by Artemida, and you just have this very strong pop of orange color that just lights up the entire hallway. Here's the kitchen, and it is my absolute favorite room in this incredible apartment. It is just a dream of a Scandinavian kitchen. There's teak furniture and this rich, warm brown of teak, but at the same time we have these strong green accents, like this big large painting. We have plants, and the kitchen itself is just kept in this neutral white paired with some brown accents. And in the backdrop between the shelves and the kitchen counter, we have these soft terracotta tiles, and it just really finishes the story. And as soon as you come inside this kitchen, you are just reminded that you are in Sweden. My favorite thing about this kitchen is this incredible 1950s historic mid-century table that the owner and artist actually found on an auction. So most of the furniture that you will see in this apartment is actually been found in different auction sites or different secondhand shops. And so over the years, the vision of this apartment really came to life. And I absolutely love it if you don't just move into a place and decorate it from scratch within the first week, but when you really let time do its magic. And this is what often leads to these really layered and in-depth designs. Behind me, we have this gorgeous green abstract artwork that just acts as a strong focal point, and it just adds this second color to the rest of the more neutral color palette. Because we have all of these different plants, even green glasses that just finish and add yet again another layer to the color palette. And it just looks perfectly curated. Or another little detail that I love is that up here on the string shelf, we have a yellow pasta book, and it just immediately, my eyes were drawn upon this incredible pasta book because it just looks so cool. Now, the teak table can actually be extended to both sides, so you can really host a lot of people here if you want to. And around the table, we have 4 very classical mid-century chairs, and you just have this iconic round frame around it, and it just really opens up and lightens up the otherly straight geometry of the place. And if you take a closer look, you can actually see that the geometry of the chairs is found again in the geometry of the lamp. So we just have these same shapes repeated again and again, and they just make this design feel very complete. And what I love about these Swedish kitchens is that they're not fancy, they're really quite simple. You have these wooden doors that have been painted white, and then just again some wood and stainless steel as the countertop. But there's just this beauty in the simplicity and in the Scandinavian design that's very minimal and yet exactly how it's supposed to be. And it just feels very homey and comfortable. Also, when you look outside, you actually have this tilted brick facade that is looking back at you. And it's also very unique that we are really at the edge of these two buildings, or like in the crease of the building. So you just have this really strong red accent on the outside. And I believe that this is also a reason why the inside has much more cooler green tones to just complement what we have on the outside. Also, as you can see, right now we are in Sweden, and it's my first time in Sweden, and I'm super excited to be here. And if you want to get more daily design inspiration and also more behind the scenes content on our travels and everything else, check out our Instagram over here. Also, one of a kind little moment over here. So here mounted to the wall, we actually have a wine opener where you can just put in your wine bottle and open it. And it actually was installed for the 30th birthday of the artist who lives here. And I think it's a really nice anecdote. And it looks really fun to use. Now let me show you his studio, which is really fun and has a completely different atmosphere. So through this open door, which we can close, let me show you. We actually have two sliding doors that have been hidden. So you can open and just let the energy connect these two spaces, or if you want some privacy, or if you have people over and just want to work by yourself, you just close them. But I really love sliding doors that have been hidden inside the walls because it's just such a sleek and cool way to do design. So this is the office and studio. And originally the space used to be a large dining area. And I can imagine that when this building was built, it was actually intended as the master bedroom because it is kind of like a corner space with a lot of windows. But the owner decided to turn this into his creative space where he makes music or produces his art and just helps and heals people with his work. What I love about this room is that it has much more color than the rest of the apartment. So the walls are kept in this very soft pastel blue that you almost don't notice when you walk in. And then again, you have these soft and blue curtains. But the real focal point of this room is the very strong, colorful geometric carpet that I'm standing on right now. It just really draws you in and locks your eyes and just creates this very eclectic bohemian design. And what's also super cool is over here we have this kind of plant gallery and exhibition that is standing around. Right now the cat is hiding behind one of the plants, and it's just a really vibrant and eclectic space that still has this very strong sense of calm. Also, you can never go too big with lamps, and over here we have a gorgeous lamp by Anne Tradition that I really love. It's very nice. And you can just really see and get a feel that this space is really meant to let your creativity run loose. My favorite corner is over here, and we have this gorgeous, beautiful, bright red mid-century chair that just really invites you in to take a seat. And it is paired with this light turquoise vase, and you can just see so many different worlds, colors, and materials colliding in this one little corner. On this wall, we have a little art collection of photographs of the artist over the years. And he actually picked out these 6 images from a collection of over 100 images. And a lot of them are actually made in different cities because he traveled a lot and also lived in a lot of different countries throughout the years. So it is just kind of like a little artistic time capsule. This is the bedroom. Now, this room is intended to be a place of serenity and calm, so we don't have too many objects standing inside. we have a minimalist bed in the center, accompanied by a gorgeous Danish iconic lamp. On the side we have a gorgeous Scandinavian mid-century cupboard, accompanied by another teak mid-century chair. And this is actually the same chair that you also have in the kitchen. It's always very easy or cool to incorporate some extra chairs throughout the rest of the design. So whenever you have guests over, you can just collect them from the rooms and then you have some extra chairs. So I really like this simple solution. So if you're not signed up on the waitlist, go sign up now because you get early launch, better price, and a launch bonus